Rebuilding famous football academies is now one of my favourite things to do. So next up is Liverpool, the soon-to-be Premier League champions. Yes, Arne Slot's doing a good job, but also one time this season, he fielded an entirely non-English team, despite being a team in England. So to make up for that, Arnie's gonna have to grow his own English, because he obviously doesn't want to sign any, and one of them is on his way out. As we want a new English right back to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, a centre back to replace Carragher, and a centre mid to replicate Steven Gerrard. One of the greats, but there's also two other greats, one still playing. Egyptian winger Mo Salah and Spanish legend Fernando Torres. As we've got to get the youth working here for Liverpool within 5 seasons in this race against the clock to win the Champions League and bring it to Merseyside. Yes, people, here we go again. You know what kind of rebuild this is. We are rebuilding Liverpool against the clock, like the Man United video. If you haven't seen that one, I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan, I don't think you will. But if you do want to know the rules, they're kind of in that one, but I'm going to say them again. As in the Man United, we had 8 youth players we needed to get into the first team squad. But here with Liverpool, we need to have 5 youth players lifting that Champions League within 5 years. That is within, so we can't actually go over into a 6th season. Unless we're having fun and only 5 youth players, because 2 of these are defenders. We must grow as 91 million in the bank account. And of course we can still sign players. Probably some of the world's best need to come in to help us. As at the moment we have the world's best. We have Salah. We do have Trent Alexander-Arnold, who of course I'm going to try and sell, because although the good players like Van Dijk, we need to kind of get rid of them to put the youth in very soon. As speaking of youth, yes, of course, I'm going to use the academy. I'm going to remove all the players currently here. I want to start fresh with my squad. However, before we get started, if you do remember the positions, I said Jamie Carragher is one of the players we can, of course, get the regen of. A legend of Liverpool, but some fans really don't like him. But he does have a son currently playing near Merseyside, who I discovered not long ago in my Wigan Athletic rebuild. It is James Carragher, and I didn't get the best use out of him. Now, this doesn't count towards a challenge, but I would love if within 5 seasons we could really grow this man, send him out on loan, and have him in the UCL squad. As who knows, maybe he grows to be better than his dad, or better than the regen we need of his father. As enough of the signings for now. I usually don't like to signing season 1, as we've got a decent scout to start off with. We've got to scout numerous countries, as I'm hoping we get some 5-star scouts as our other ones. So this one's going Spain. For the striker, Fernando Torres is regen, most likely. Oh, but the next scout actually isn't a 5-star one. It is Jane Kajanian. He is from Finland. And hopefully when this guy finishes scouting, see what I did there? Finland, finish. He's got the next Mo Salah, because I'm sending him to Egypt. And I'm going to look for a left wing as well as right wing. Salah's sometimes played at the left, I think, when he was a youth player. Could have even gone for striker, as here's the 5-star scout, Javier Garcia. As I'm going to look centre back and right back from England, but also add left back, because if we could make a left back a right back later, that would be marvellous. As I am changing up the formation, because we have to use this team. We could win the Champions League straight away with the likes of Trent, whose contract is expiring, so I'm actually going to let it run out. Maybe our youth player gets ready straight away to filter into the squad, and we do have a very good player there. Oscar Porter as a right back. Then we do have a centre back in Noble, which is good, ticking off 2 of the Englishmen, because we've got to go for another one. However, not good with the Spanish scout. Hernandez is one of our best ones. This is the first team, by the way, because I'm going to loan all these players out, and we do have a guy trying to be Salah, Yassin Hamadi. Hopefully he gets growing, as we do have a team to, of course, look out for in the meantime. And it's important, because we've got to keep getting in them Champions League spots like we just did do. But of course, if we do win the Champions League this season, it doesn't count. So now the time is down to 4 seasons, because we don't have all the youth players. We need that Gerrard regen, as Man United win the FA Cup. And Sunderland were the team to beat us. I don't like that, and I don't like Middlesbrough, despite having one of our players, Ben Doak, on loan to them. The Carabao Cup victory goes to them, as it could be a trophyless first season. We are currently in the Champions League. We only took 1 defeat, a couple of draws, 10th place. Not good. We beat Atalanta 3-1 though, not to worry. And then we beat Real Madrid, where Trent possibly could be going. Nice to get the victory there, but then not nice in the quarterfinals because it is Sporting Lisbon to beat us 4-3 and another high scorer. We need that Torres regen quickly because our strikers are not too great. I mean, we are playing Diogo Jota, who predominantly was a left winger, and now Salah is going down. So as long as the youth keep going up, our real life players are going to go down, so they're going to kind of hopefully pass each other. As Trent is leaving the club, but the club is actually signed a pre-contract at. Being the ultimate traitor, he is joining Manchester United. Hope none of our current youth go and do it, as Mohamed Salah, 48 goals. As I still need to change into a winger, as this is how our youth have done. So we've got one good one there. Edward Noble, only 17. Who's the Carragher regen, then a +7 for Walid, not the man I mentioned. As Hamadi's only 66, we've got Porter at a 70. Okay, a little bit of a slow starter as James Carragher is 61 rated. And then Lino Hernandez, only 63 as well at 18. Not where we want them to be, but they are, of course, continuing to grow, as if you do like these U3 builds, I very much like doing them. We're hopefully going to make a signing next season, and if you're excited for that, leave a like, and of course, subscribe on the road to 60k. As here we go into season 2, and this is actually a difficult one. Trent leaving. Not only is he going to Manchester United, but our only replacement at the moment is Connor Bradley, a man who's destined to grow, as when we go down here, so many youth players. We're probably going to release some because we need to focus on the current ones. We are growing like Porter, and I think just one more loan deal. If he could hit the 75 rating, he could be our bench right back for next season, as if this season we do go and sign a right back who's old. With the money that we've been gifted for our Champions League quarterfinal, 131 million. Of course, we do need to keep scouting out. Our Egyptians look good. Our English centre-back and right-back. But that Gerrard regen needs making. Also, that Spanish striker. As I'm using the 5-star scout to go out there and search in Spain, because that's the place we need to go. And then the English scout, I'm only going to focus on centre mid in England. I could put right back and centre back on, but just look for one position, as we do have a scout left. Stokesy, he's 5-star, 4-star, could do to Egypt. Gonna send him out there again, as these are the current players we still have at the club. And Frederick Pickering, don't know why we've got an English left mid, but he did have a lot of potential, as now I'm going to get rid of a lot of players. I'm going to go on a releasing fee of all these youth players we won't use, like Reece Williams out on loan at Morecambe in real life. Chambers is at Wigan, where James Carragher's already come from. Essentially clear the deadwood before we go in for that right back, as I already have one in mind. I thought Trent would go to Real Madrid, allowing us to sign who would have been his backup, but he hasn't gone there. Daniel Carvajal, really good, but is an old right back. So with him being old, he's good enough for the Champions League, but eventually will fall out of the squad, giving time for Porter to jump in, as he fits straight in the squad, which I do want to focus on a little bit more to make sure it can keep getting Champions League, like changing the position of Salah. It doesn't take his rating up, but still, it's much better for him being in the correct position. As if we got the next Mohamed Salah in this academy, could it be Nasser Shahata? Who knows? Who knows? As it's actually the Spanish one that's done well, Jose Luis Varela, but it has picked out a right winger. Not what I actually wanted. We've got Rivero down here. We have Radcliffe, who hopefully can be the next Steven Gerrard. As if not, we've got more time to scout, but not the best intake of youth academy players. We've got to still try and focus on them. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, this is worse than I thought, because now we've lost Robertson, and the other two in the defence, in Van Dijk and Carvajal, really haven't lasted as quality centre-backs, or centre-back and right-back, so now we definitely need to get a move on with that youth we found, as I'm going to check the Premier League firstly, and 10 points clear of Manchester City. Not bad, considering our team. Salah, Jota, and I can't remember who was on the left wing. I think it was Diaz, all carrying us to a first trophy and Prem title. Very nice, and guess what? It's not the only thing to come from this season. Without a defence, the FA Cup, 2-0 over Brighton Hove Albion. 2 trophies out of 2. Imagine if we could make it 3. Well, we don't need to imagine, actually, because that is what we've gone one and done. Could we win the Champions League this season? I tell you what, if we called back all our players, just put them onto the bench, we could complete this challenge, as that is another one. A treble in the second season without even having a right back as second. Fantastic. Amazing. It could be on. It really could be on, because we'd be Inter 3-2. Feyenoord 4-2. That is a really easy round for the quarters. No offense to them, but then we go ahead and lose to Milano. Unlucky, as that is another season down now, where we almost did it, and I'm not actually too angry, because we've got youth players improving. Zachary Hartley a +10, Rivero a +8, so at least we've got a Spanish striker moving. Pickering out of nowhere, who literally wasn't even a requirement, +14, the 17-year-old. That is absolutely amazing. Not bad. If only we needed him. If only he could be a centre mid. Down here, and his stats do look very pacey, but he does have some decent passing. If he could shove centrally, or shuffle centrally, as then we've got Porter now at a 75, and Noble 77. He looks like the Carragher, or doesn't look like Carragher, because I can't remember Carragher having long hair. This looks more like Carragher, his son, but I don't think he'll get first team. Walid is another one we didn't check on, 79, the Egyptian king. Might be losing his throne here because we have a new man in town. Really excited for him, as of course he's not on Diaz's level, and he actually runs out of contract, as this year we've got to spend money. No point in focusing on the youth if we can't get back into the Champions League. And Virgil van Dijk this season refusing to sign a contract, which many fans thought would be the thing for this season, so we might not use him. We might use Jarell Kwanzaa, give Noble one more season out on loan, and then he can come back and hopefully jump into this team, as you know, we need a left back. After winning a treble, I think that position would literally just sort us out. So 154 million to spend. Feeling good. And with all that money going into one position, I want to get the world's best at this moment in time, I'd say. And I didn't know he was at Real Madrid. But Noon Mensch, if you've watched the Champions League this season, this man is unreal. He's running out of contract, so I'm going to take the shot on him. We need to try and win that Champions League. Maybe we could do this year. This is a huge addition to add to this squad. We've got the 87 rated left back. And is there anywhere we could really sign? Jota, of course, needs to be replaced by the Spanish striker, as I still think that's my priority. I trust the Englishman we've got in the squad, so guess what? I'm searching there again. I'll do another sweep still of England, but this time I'm going every position. If we find something, great. If we don't, we should have it already. And then finally a last minute look for the Mo Salah regen on the right wing, despite him still being in the squad, so it's not technically a regen. As guess what, we found a regen of our regen player already in the team. Another guy called Walid, who I don't think is going to overtake the other one. Then Asensio, again, I sent out for a striker. You saw me click that button, I went striker when I checked in Spain. But we've not really found one apart from John Rojas down here, Contreras and Fuentes, who I am still going to try and promote. And I'm hoping some of them youth have grown. Hoping we've hit some 80 rated, because we won't have Virgil van Dijk. His last season, though, ends in a UCL spot. Very nice as well. We only lose out on the title to Chelsea by 11 points, which shows where our squad is at. We've got a lot of old players, then some decent young ones. In the first team as it stands, we did have a treble last year, and now we've given up on 2 trophies because Man City beat us on penalties in the Community Shield, but the FA Cup, and always in the finales. We do get teams we should beat. We haven't actually played a big team. No disrespect to Luton, but that is another FA Cup. And I tell you what, there's another example. No offense to the Sky Blues in Coventry, but the Carabao, we've beaten a championship team to do a double this season, and hey, still could be a treble if we do the Champions League, but I know we've got an aging squad, and the likes of Real Madrid won't have, because we do finish 7th, making it automatically through to the round of 16, but this is our worst finish to date. We lose 3-1 to Juventus. With this squad, as I say, it's very mish and mash all over the place. Really good players in most positions, but then 2 78s now in the squad. Kwanzaa has been playing. We've also had James Carragher getting some game time. Not the play we was hoping for, but we do have the players hopefully we're hoping for. A lot of hope in there as the young ones. We've only got one good young player in Thaibit Walid. If your name's Walid, you do have a good career. As the other Walid should be doing well, but this man's done spectacular. He started at a 59, Zachary Hartley, to a 77. Loaned out to Porto, that's our Gerrard, and this is our Torres. Rivero doing well, but then we've got Frederick Pickering plus an 8. We didn't even need him in the squad, as then Eduardo Noble's done really well. Walid is now an 85, and Porter a 79. And I haven't been showing goal scorers because this is the season. We finally put some players in. Walid should get game time. Same as Pickering, only 18. 96 pace is bloody amazing. Maybe a few of them still get loan deals like Hartley, like the striker. Rivero, which took me an embarrassingly long time to find him in the reserves. As yes, I think I'll sell Diaz to start off with because I want Walid playing with Mohamed Salah in the limited time he has left. Also, Noble's become our captain straight away. Sorry to Virgil van Dijk, who has gone and left the club, as also Porter joins him in the starting 11. So our Gerrard and Torres regens are the ones we have to fit into the squad. And as for signings, I said I could make some, but honestly, the players we have, we don't really need to replace them. We've got 2 quality goalkeepers. We might have to sell some now. Diaz being the prime example, and Jota maybe in a season's time, because Rivero is not ready yet. As speaking of Rivero, do we still actually need to send our scouts out? With us having 2 seasons now to try and win the Champions League, I mean, we have been falling off, so yes, I'm going to send a scout out. Can't really do it next year, but I am only going to send to Spain, and I'm going to look for every attacking position. Hopefully, if we do get a winger or cam, they could filter into being a striker, as I've also thought about another thing. Pickering now being on the bench, who came out of absolutely nowhere. I guess they have had a good left wing who's from England in the past, Liverpool. John Barnes, we could kind of draw a similarity under that line, and hopefully go into the Champions League final with 6 youth players now. Even getting rid of the first team regular who have got us into semi-finals. Already in this save of the Champions League as Diaz to Chelsea. Not a fan of him joining a rival as Hakpo goes to the team that beat us. Last year in the Champions League is 364 million. Now it would be an actual crying shame if we didn't go and spend that, but we need to get our youth into the squad so that counts out positions. I do not want to be buying a left mid, a centre back or a right back. Maybe we could go for actually a different centre-back. Konate is the only position we can really actually try and cover, because Gravenberg, low-rated, but he will come out for Hartley, hopefully. And Jota for Rivero, if those are the players to grow, because they're going to get loan deals this season. I'm going to take it to the wire and complete the challenge, as we do now need a centre-back role. Someone to replace Van Dijk, and I think the only option to help Noble out is the nobleman, Ronaldo Araujo at Barcelona. Sensational purchase, but we've been charged a little bit too much for him, leaving the rest of the money to go into contracts, as hopefully in this pile of new players that we've promoted, there is an upcoming superstar. Although, I'd never lie to you guys, I doubt it, but with the team we've built, 100 points, we are Centurions in the Premier League. All my days with 3 youth players in the lineup, as well, only 2 defeats, 4 draws. That is one of the best things we've done all year round in career mode. That is a normal trophy, but it should be a golden one. However, we have gone unbeaten before this year, as there we go in the Community Shield. Losing, but I don't care about that trophy one bit. It is the other ones I care about, as the historians, Preston, win the FA Cup over Newcastle. We were hammered by Bournemouth at home. Not something we can usually say, but we do respond with another trophy. The Carabao Cup won over Nottingham Forest, not a championship team, making it a double for this season, but still potential to be a treble. Here in season 4, as it's unbeaten in the league phase, we did take 3 draws, but no team actually capitalizing on it, as then we beat Juventus 3-0 even after selling Cody Gakpo to them, and then beating us last year, as then we beat Bayer Leverkusen to then beat Atalanta, getting very lucky with the draw. Paris in the finale against Liverpool. We could wrap this up, you know. The only problem is, as I keep saying, that Torres regen. As this is the squad that's reached the finale, no doubt why it's there. We've got 90s all over the shop, apart from Porter, apart from Noble. Not too great, not too cracking. We've got Waleed. And then Pickering, he has stopped growing now because he's got nowhere near the first team squad. Due to how good the other players were, Salah got 30 goals. Waleed only got 13. I mean, Darwin Núñez got more, which is a shame. He can't hit a barn door in real life, as these are the players out on loan who are young, maybe for next season. If we don't make it this year, Zachary Hartley also has to come back, an 82 rated. He looks like he's done a Conor Gallagher. As Rivero is an 80. He still has to come back for the bench and get on the field in this Champions League finale. Yep, all the youth that aren't already in the first team on the bench, because this is a crucial game here. They've all got to be part of the squad, and I definitely will be subbing them on as Lambert. I guess he's a regen for PSG, who's knocking the ball very nicely. Doué with the opening goal. He's a really good player in real life, and he's actually just shredded through us. It's come from the centre-back spot, the right centre-back, where our regen Carragher Noble just gets outdone, completely outdone all over. The best possible start, that not the usual start we have, as where's Waleed? He's got... oh my days, that's a terrible pass. I was going to say he's got finesse shots, but we can't even get out of his own half. As Said into Lambert. This could be really easy for Paris. Endrick. It's down the middle. He solved the riddle. This is 2-0 PSG. This is the worst I've ever started a game. Núñez's fault this time, because he just gets absolutely rounded. And this is one of the highest rated teams we've actually ever had. I'm deep in it. One of our best ever squads as that. He's just passing it straight back to them. Endrick dances through to De Jong. Really don't like the start to this game as they've took the corner short. Oh my days! What is going on here? It's literally on the same difficulty I play every game. Doué's got a brace already. As these are seriously good. Endrick, he could make it 4. 4 in a finale is absolutely... embarrassing, as Alisson spares his blushes. Tell you what, Noble's had a hard time, as well as Porter, as well as Núñez, as Szoboszlai. Here we go. Salah's got no pace in the locker, but he does have the ball at his feet. Mohamed Salah. Is Waleed better than him? Because he actually has got a pass, and he's done well there as Salah into McAllister. It's a goal back. Put the music on, but also don't celebrate too much. We've been really poor. Like, really poor this game. Tell you what, though, if he gets us back in the game, I am going to go absolutely mental as Hartley gets in front of the defence, doing the great tackling. Szoboszlai up to Rivero. Need somebody to drop it off to. That's not bad into Mohamed Salah. That's definitely a handball from Hato. Trying to sneak back into this as Porter. Out wide into Hartley. The regens linking up as Mohamed Salah seizes the gap. It's Salah now. Almost got past Hato again. Just grown into this game a little too late as Salah now. Look for Waleed, who won a corner, couldn't do too much. And now we're going to try and pass this short. Dominic Szoboszlai into Waleed with the finesse shot. That really needed to go in to give us any chance of getting back into this. As Szoboszlai with a free kick, though. If he can get that over the wall. It still wasn't good enough. Who the heck am I kidding? As we've whacked the ball upfield. And that... is defeat in the UCL finale. Can't lie, it stings, because now we are down to our final season and some players leaving the club. Dominic Szoboszlai, after that finale, doesn't see us fit enough to go again, and a lot of players left. We've got Jones left in the middle. Okay, this needs to work. Salah was very slow in that game. We do have Pickering on the bench. And Rivero at the moment, who I'm definitely going to be loaning out. For like I said, the final season, and he wasn't good enough when he came on. So we could actually make some signings, because I do feel like we have the youth players here. In Waleed, first up, he is more than capable to stay in this squad. Noble was really bad, but I'm going to trust him with an extra year under his belt. He did just become a Centurion. Then we have Oscar Porter at 21. He needs to grow, same as Hartley. And then, of course, our Spaniard Rivero needing a loan deal. So after a couple of contracts, 253 million, we need a Cam who's going to start, and then a few bench players, I'd say. With Rivero heading out, we could definitely do with another striker. We're going to make Jones a centre mid, so that means maybe a fullback extra. And with me wanting to keep Porter, I want to get someone in to try and challenge Núñez, who was really poor in that finale. So in comes Kirkby, who of course Liverpool Liverpool are very heavily linked with in real life. And he's going to be joined by one of his ex-teammates as well. I'm going to get the bench players in first as this man, Evanilson. He's going to go onto the bench whilst Rivero goes out on loan. Hopefully to somewhere good, as Curtis Jones is changing to a centre mid, although I don't want him taking over Hartley, a player I'm going to keep at the club, as now it's cam time. This has turned into kind of a normal rebuild at the moment, and I do have a player in mind, and this is a man I haven't used, I don't think, in career mode so far. Kaide really hyped up, although not getting game time at Madrid. I'm kind of more of a Barca fan, but I am going to take my chance on him, hoping he is the elevation, the pickup from that utterly dross UCL final, and gets us back there again. As I will not lie, really disappointed with his growth of +1. That's what getting sat on the bench does for you week in, week out. Salah's an 87. Well, Leeds now higher than him. Defense looking decent apart from Alisson, but we do have a straight like-for-like replacement in Mamadashvili. The Noble's good. 88 rated. We've got Porter at 85. We've got Hartley. There's our 3 Englishmen. And of course, we've got our Egyptian in this final season, as McAllister's our best player. And I want to see goals. Jota got 25. Really good for him. But if it's up to me, I don't want to keep him because of this man +3. Lucas Rivero. It's got pace and shooting. Yes, it's not got a good overall, but it depends who we play if we do make the finale, which I'm hoping is the case, because when you take our Premier League form into account, we should definitely be reaching that finale again. Not Centurions this season, 1 point off, but 1 defeat. Impeccable as we did, only just beat Preston in the Community Shield. We didn't win the FA Cup. Palace over Sheffield. United, as we were beaten by Ipswich, where we loaned some of our players to. Last season, Newcastle winning the goddamn Carabao Cup. We lost to them 4-1 over 2 legs in the Carabao. Still, if we've saved it up for the Champions League, not near the top. It's Benfica, Nice, and Brighton are above us. At least we did automatically go through, and we had to get this huge win, beating the world's best team in real life and in this game after last season. Paris before Celtic, 5-1, and Dortmund 5-2, reaching the finale, where we will play Milano, and we've only got one more thing to do. Call back a certain someone who I do think played against them before. Talking about Fernando Torres, but I'm actually meaning Rivero. I mean Fernando Torres' regen. Potential still to be special, and you know what? Because of his rating, I am going to do it from the off. At least we're not playing PSG, as I'm going to trust Rivero as our forward. Need a huge performance from him, as I think I know why he hasn't grown. I just saw the number 13 sheet, or shirt. Salah with no pace, still in the starting 11, but Rivero makes up for it because he has a bit of pace, and Salah is through on goal here. We could really use the opening goal, and we get it. Unlike Paris, it is us with the early lead. Mohamed Salah, beautiful finesse. We have 2 Egyptians with the play style on either wing, and he made the run. Very slow run, but the run nevertheless through the middle. Just what we needed. Nicely timed as we lead. This is better. We're on the ball. We actually went forward with the last move. Thing with these youth rebuilds is the finales are always brilliant because they're actually close match, because our youth, inexperienced, well, somewhat inexperienced. They did all play in the UCL finale last year, as that's a slow Salah losing it for pace. Loftus-Cheek, Ronald Araujo. That is why we still allow signings. To get someone of quality on the ball as House Porter. Is he better than Trent? A pass inside. We need to keep the ball. Salah now. Forward to Rivero. He needs to knock it on. We'll lead. Passing it back. If we're onside, it's a brilliant goal. And the Fernando Torres regen. 2-0 to the good. Our lowest rated player. It's a brilliant, well, very lucky ball. Out wide in the first place. Then the pass back into the net. Fantastic hours, Porto. Now out wide into Salah. Salah around the corner. Kaide. Get that through the middle. Space on this left-hand side for another goal. Waleed is going to go himself. I tried a fancy finesse. Definitely didn't work. Just not done very cleanly as Hartley. A gap forming up for the big man to shoot. He hits the post. The regen Steven Gerrard as Mo Salah into Porter. McAllister, the highest rated player. That's surely handball. Yankuto with the block as now McAllister. Brilliant work will lead. If he could maybe try and find Salah at the back post. I'm going to just try and look into the corridor of uncertainty. Because they've been enjoying their counter-attacks and will lead into Noon Mensch. We need to get that through the middle onto McAllister. Rivero makes the run. That's a red card. We're going to play on after this suspension. Yankuto was the stupid man. I knew it was a red card as soon as he did it. And Hartley, this surely should be 3-0 to the Redmen now. McAllister running around. McAllister with a ball in at the near post. And it's bumbled in. Or trumbled. Or whatever you want to say. A brilliant goal. Rivero is becoming a king of the Cop. Although we're not playing at home, our best rated player, McAllister, just squeezes it in. And the goal only just squeezes in itself to surely crown Liverpool champions of Europe. Getting it done in the final season of what we allowed ourselves, and noble to lift the trophy. This is basically like Carragher doing it. In theory, it should have been Hartley captain, just like Steven Gerrard, but Hartley was out on loan more than this man who deserves it. What a comeback from that first finale when he was actually the worst player. As if you do want to see these style of Youth Academy videos come back, leave a like, subscribe, and as always, click right here to see a different video recommended for you by YouTube.